I know that several of those involved do remain in intensive care right now. We do not plan to release the names of the victims at this point. Most of them involved are juveniles, so we don't plan to release those names. But what I can say is that it was truly a miracle that no one was killed here at this house. I mean, this is just a devastating scene, a catastrophic damage, and the fact that everyone survived is truly a miracle. I really give a lot of credit to the Vernon Fire Department. There was a team of heroic firefighters that at much risk to their safety entered this unstable home that could have collapsed further at any moment, and pulled those 4 victims out of this rubble. Speaking with the medical providers and the other rescuers, everyone agrees that clearly these actions, their quick and timely actions, saved the lives of these victims. That if much more time had gone by, we would have had a different outcome and not everyone would have survived.
Now, you mentioned some of the victims were in critical condition. Are those all children, or are some of the adults that went to the hospital still?
Yeah, 2 of the adults do remain in intensive care at Hartford Hospital. At least 1 of the children remain in intensive care at Children's Medical Center, but everyone is expected to survive. That's what I've been told by the medical staff.
Any update on the 2 other children? I know that there were 3 of them. One was really...
I don't. I have a call into CCMC, and I'm just waiting for that information. The other thing I was able to just confirm is that this was a single-family home. Okay, most of the victims did reside inside the home. At least 1 of the victims was a guest, but most of those injured did live inside the house.
Are they all related?
Many of them were related, not all of them, but many of them were related.
How close are we to an update on the cause of all this?
So again, I just spoke to the team of investigators, and they told me this is a very challenging and difficult scene. I mean, due to the amount of damage, the condition of the structure, and this is a true team of experts, federal, state, and local, that are working together as a team to try and figure this out. They do not have an estimate as to when they're going to have a cause of this explosion. What they do tell me is that their main job right now is they're eliminating causes. So they're going through their lists and things, checklists that they have, and trying to rule things out and maybe come to a potential cause. But I can't even promise that at the end they're going to have a cause. Again, it's a very, very challenging scene. Gathering physical evidence, and they're also interviewing people that were inside and others that may have knowledge of what happened here.
Lieutenant, you spoke yesterday. You guys obviously trained extensively for something like this. Obviously, hopefully it doesn't happen. Speak to that again, if you would, just without getting too technical.
Yeah, I mean, this is something that all emergency responders train for. An incident of this magnitude, it's something that we don't encounter very often. I was one of the first people on scene here yesterday and watched the response from the fire department, from the ambulance crews, EMS, as well as police officers, the search and rescue team, the other responders that came, and they really did a commendable job. I mean, there was an incredible amount of teamwork here, working together and putting their training in action. We received help. I couldn't even name all the agencies that helped us, fire departments, ambulance companies, from the search and rescue team that was called, state assets. The state police sent a considerable number of troopers here to help us, both with the initial response, with the investigation, and with the search and rescue. The USAR team was instrumental in confirming that no one else remained inside the structure. The local fire departments, I know that many local fire departments were here in addition to Vernon, as well as ambulances. We had ambulances from all over the region.
We're hearing a couple of pets die. Is that true?
2 dogs and maybe a cat.
Yes, I did hear information that 2 dogs that were inside the home did die. I am not sure about cats. I heard that there were possibly some cats inside the home. I have not been able to confirm whether or not those cats survived.
Are you guys looking into whether or not this was anything related to narcotics at all? Is that a cause that you guys are still looking into?
So, when we approach these investigations, it's a very open-ended investigation at first, and they work to narrow down the cause. So, they work very broadly and then work to eliminate things. So, I mean, there's many potential causes of something like this, and the team of investigators is looking at all those causes. all those potential causes. I know you asked a question about gas. Someone asked a question. I haven't, I haven't been able to confirm whether or not there was gas service to the house. I know that there were some propane tanks at the rear of the house, some tanks that I saw, but I don't know what role, if any, that those tanks played in this. It's just too early to tell right now.
Any idea about all the cars on the property, Lieutenant? Are they all cars of the people that live there? There must be 10 cars on the property.
There's several vehicles there. I mean, several with heavy damage. I don't know, the ownership of those cars, but I do know that this was really an incredible scene. I mean, something I've never seen in my long career. I mean, the front door to the house was blown across the street. I mean, there was debris widely scattered, and when the responders got here, there were people inside the home screaming for help. And those responders, like I said, went inside at much risk to their safety and were able to pull those people to safety.
Do you know where inside the house some of these people were that were trapped?
I don't know exactly where. No, I don't have the exact locations.
As far as you know, any houses next door or in the neighborhood, anyone else have damage?
I don't know right now. I don't know. I know that debris was thrown pretty considerable distance by this apparent blast, but I don't know the extent of any other damage.
And the victims that were in the home that are not in the hospital currently, any idea where they're staying? Do they have family nearby?
I'm not sure. I know that investigators have been in touch with everyone that lives in the home, trying to gather as much information as they can about what maybe happened here.
I guess on a timeline of how this is going to progress, obviously investigators have to do their thing, but at some point crews are going to have to come in and get rid of all this stuff.
Yeah, so they're working, with heavy equipment to try and pick through this debris to gather whatever clues they can find. But they do expect this to be an extended process. I mean, they said at least throughout the day and night, and they're going to kind of assess it, day by day as far as their progress and how much longer they think it's going to take to determine what happened here.
Do you have an exact number of the amount of people that did call this house home? I know that you were saying that they could be related, but how many people actually lived here?
I believe 6 out of the 7 lived here, but I'm not positive. I know that many of the victims lived here. I mean, I do know that 4, were found inside, 3 were found outside, that 6 of the 7 were brought to the hospital, several with very serious injuries. But again, fortunately, everyone's going to survive.
The child that you mentioned that was in bad shape, is that the 7-year-old, the youngest?
Yeah, the 7-year-old was seriously injured. Again, I don't have any details about his injuries. I know that Connecticut Children held a press conference yesterday. They have the most information, obviously. They're the ones treating him, but I don't have any other information.
Is that the one who was buried in the house?
The 7-year-old was rescued from the home, so he was one. There was 2 adults that were pulled from the debris. Those adults remain in intensive care. There was an adolescent that was pulled from the debris, as well as a 7-year-old child. And, I believe my indications were that the 7-year-old was probably the most seriously injured. But again, that's something the medical providers would have more information on. So I don't know when I'm going to have a next update. I've been in touch very closely with the team of investigators. I don't know if the next update is going to come from me or if it's going to come from them. We're going to kind of just see how the investigation progresses, what progress they make, and we'll certainly keep everyone informed.
And just one last question. Did you guys have any camera equipment or a drone or something like that you can get aerials of this? Or are you planning on using that?
There's nothing that we used. I mean, I saw there was some drone footage posted online. I'm not sure who posted that, but nothing that the department had.
Any idea, too, when this section of the road might reopen?
There's no timeline. I mean, we're saying it's going to be closed indefinitely right now. East Street, we were able to open Route 74 late last night, but the road in front of the home is going to remain closed indefinitely at this point.
Can you tell us which one it was that didn't live in the home?
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know off the top of my head. I'm not sure.
Oh, and the address, is it definitely number 4?
Number 4 East Street, yeah, was the address.
Thank
Okay.
you.
Well, thank you,
so
everyone.
much.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
All of us are very impressed with the firefighters. That's a different department. We would love to hear firsthand some of those accounts.
I've already been in touch with some of them, and I am trying to arrange it, but, obviously they're very humble, these firefighters. A lot of them, don't want the credit that they deserve, but I am working to see if some of them want to speak.
Yeah, I know we all love to
they're
hear
true
their
heroes.
stories.
I mean, they really, an amazing story, and something that we don't see very often in the state, or even this region. I was talking to the ATF, federal agency, obviously, and even across the country. They don't see a lot of incidents of this magnitude where people are trapped inside debris. Really a but it's a miracle. I mean, it's a true miracle here that no one was willing to fit. Everyone's survived.
I know we certainly love to hear their stories too. So.
Yeah. Let me see what I can do. I'm gonna go back down. All right. Well, thank you, everyone. Take care.